Hi, I'm Darlene and welcome to my farm kitchen. We recently picked up lamb from the processor, and ground lamb is one of my favorite summertime meals. My favorite way to eat the ground lamb is just to grill it in a simple skillet and serve it on flatbread with some really yummy toppings. You'll make a couple of these toppings ahead of time just so when your lamb is ready you can go ahead and assemble that. Two of those ingredients are pickled onion, and the other is a sour cream spread with some feta and fresh herbs. So I make my own sourdough flatbread and I'll link to the recipe. But if you don't bake with sourdough or you don't want to mess with it, you can certainly buy a naan bread in the grocery store and it will work just perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you how to make this pickled red onion. I think it really adds a nice brightness to the flatbread. So I'm going to slice it pretty thin. Of onion, and I break apart the rings and tuck them down into a jar. Adding just about a cup of white vinegar, and to that I'm going to add just about a half a cup of sugar. The pickling spice, I'll add 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add a pinch of salt in there too. So our pickling spices come up to a really nice simmer. I'm going to turn down the heat and I'm going to let it simmer for a couple minutes so that all those flavors from the pickling spice will incorporate into our brine. I use a canning funnel, and then I put a small sieve on the top just to catch some of the pickling spice. And we're going to put a lid on it, and I'm just going to let it sit. And within about an hour, honestly, they're good to use. But like I said earlier, you can put this in the refrigerator and let them sit for, I don't know, easily a week, maybe 10 days. So my other ingredient for making ahead, I take and I make a sauce to put on my flatbread. So I probably have half a cup of sour cream. I just ran out and picked some fresh dill and some fresh parsley, and I'm going to chop that up. Use dry. In the wintertime I do use dry, but I really like the herbaceous flavor of the fresh. We're going to add that to our sour cream. I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of salt, maybe not quite a half a teaspoon of black pepper. I have a lemon here. It's looking a little tired, so it's time for it to be done anyway. I'm going to zest the lemon into this. All these bright flavors will really complement the ground lamb. I'm going to cut my lemon in half, and I'm going to squeeze half in, just using my fingers to catch the seeds. Last ingredient is going to be just a little bit of feta that I'm going to crumble. I used to add cucumber to this, but now what I do is I de-seed a cucumber and I put it right on my sandwich. The cucumber really had a tendency to make this very wet, and I don't want my bread to get soggy. And this is a tangy sauce. You could use yogurt. I don't usually have yogurt in the refrigerator. I know that sounds crazy, but sour cream is my go-to. Good. Okay. I'm going to set this aside and we'll go ahead and start making our burger. My skillet's getting hot, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the lamb burger. I've washed my hands really well. I'm going to add just about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, about a teaspoon of salt. And then friends of mine, they make a Mediterranean spice blend. It's so good. They actually came up with the formula just so we could use it to season lamb. And it has, what does it have in it here? Has a little bit of orange, some pepper, thyme, coriander, oregano, leek, and fennel. I think oregano is just perfect with ground lamb. So I'm going to take it. I'm not going to overwork the lamb. I don't like to overwork any ground meat. This is just about a pound. And since I have 6 pitas, I'm going to go ahead and make 6 equal burger patties. And I take and I flatten these out pretty good. And I shape them in an oblong shape. It's getting hot. I'm going to go ahead and add maybe a teaspoon of lard. Cover them up. While our burgers are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and just make a few prep items for the toppings. I have a cucumber. I'm going to deseed. I just take a spoon and pull right down. And I'm going to slice these pretty daggone thin. I'm going to flip my burgers. So I take a sourdough flatbread. Put a nice little dollop of that sour cream herb spread. If you'd like, you can cut your burgers in half to lay them in there. I put just a little bit of arugula, a couple slices of cucumber, and then our onions that have been pickled. I like to layer them in there. Up. I mean, that is beautiful, and I know it's going to taste just as good as it looks. That is yummy. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.